DonInLondon, hello. It's October 26th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour. Well, I could be addicted to behaviour too. Workaholic, relationshipaholic, any old olic, any ism. Health, food, gym, sport, book reading, you name it. I could obsess about just about anything towards the end of my addictive behaviour. And still, it can haunt me if I don't look at it on a daily basis and try and keep in recovery. So I'm in recovery from addiction to alcohol, recovering alcoholic. I never say recovered, or maybe I can at the end of the day when I haven't had a drink, but I wouldn't want to tempt fate or my mind into thinking that I'm over it. I'm never going to get over that, and what I need to do is remember where I've come from and where I am today. So it's not about shutting the door on history, it's learning the lessons of my own personal history about where drinking took me and finding a way to keep sober a day at a time. So who kept me alive on the way? Family, community, professionals, long enough probably to get that moment of clarity in one of those places called rock bottom. And rock bottom, I don't know how many I've had. A lot. It made me good at coping. And the more I coped, the more I realised I was developing coping strategies which were long term. And what I learned is coping strategies don't work long term. It's a coping mechanism. Sometimes we need it when life is tough and we face grief and tragedy. And we develop an understanding what the process is we go through of understanding our emotional pain through to getting back to a place of some people call normality, and that is being able to experience the ups and downs of life as they are in the moments with our emotions in a place of balance. So what helps me now? First of all, I need to keep sober on a daily basis so I can be part of family, community and society. So sobriety has to come first, but it doesn't mean that I don't love those people around me. I do. And family, community, fellowship for me. Fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And it provides me with the wisdom, experience, strength and hope to make a go of each day as best I can. To live life experience, to be in the moment, to understand that now counts more than anything. And how my attitude and behaviour is. So if I have an attitude and behaviour consistent with being open, honest and willing, then I'm probably on the right track. So AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, helps me on a daily basis through fellowship. And I can never speak for AA. It's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves, and they choose when and where is appropriate for them. And what's appropriate for me is to share some daily reflections, if you like, on what's keeping me sober. So it's part of my meditation to share experience, strength and hope as best I can, and share how AA works and what it does for me, and share some of the literature as well. So yes, I don't speak for it. And the other part, of course, anonymity is the spiritual foundation, as the fellowship says. For me, anonymity is very simple. It's the sanctuary to find the truth of now in a safe place, and then try to be as open, honest and willing to live life as we can possibly be. So the AA preamble, which is shared, or the statement of intent I share here, slows me down into the moment, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I remember my first meeting of AA. I was a very bad student, and it was some years, it's a long time ago now, but it wasn't the end of my drinking, my first meeting. When I got there, I saw people I knew from my neighbourhood, my neighbours. I saw people from the gym or the health club where I used to go. and they were there, and my mum's best friend was in the front row. And one person commented to me, "Don, we wondered when you were going to get here." And I was so shocked. I went straight to a pub or a bar, had a pint of beer, and then something else happened. A very attractive woman came up to me and said, "Here's my number if you need some help." And I thought, well, that's a good result. I didn't realise she was just offering help in fellowship. Anyway, that number never used, and it took another 5 years before I got to my second meeting. So I don't recommend that course of action, or that ego, or that arrogance that I had back then. And I was arrogant, and behind it was fear. Always fear of being found out, and never really understanding that somebody would actually want to help me genuinely, who wasn't paid to do so. And that's what fellowship is. It's very simply a fellowship of men and women who try and help each other as best they can. Some people are appropriate for us and some people aren't, and we learn the difference as we go. Anyway, daily reflections for today, and 10th month, 10th step. Actually, what I'll do is just read out the summary of the 10th step of the 12-step program, as it's October, because in this book today it doesn't actually cover it so much. But yeah, doing a daily inventory, and it says here, step 10, this is just a summary. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Can we stay sober and keep emotional balance under all conditions? Self-searching becomes a regular habit. Admit and accept and patiently correct defects, or doing too much of extremes. Emotional hangover. When past is settled with, present challenges can be met. Varieties of inventory: anger, resentment, jealousy, envy, self-pity, hurt pride, all led to the bottle. Self-restraint first objective. Insurance against big shotism. Let's look at credits as well as debits. Examination of motives. So in there is when we're doing a daily inventory, it's assets and liabilities. What's working for us? How judgmental are we being about other people? And how are we judging ourselves? And how are we reacting to life or responding to it? And we need to look at our part in it always. Anyway, for October 26th, it says here in the daily reflections, one ultimate authority. For our group conscience, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. And when it talks about group conscience and what is God, we all have our understanding, and for me God is truth, God works through people, God is love. So if God is working through people and working through a group conscience at meetings, then we have a better chance of finding the right path for everybody. When I am chosen to carry some small responsibility for my fellows, I ask that God grant me the patience, open-mindedness and willingness to listen to those I would lead. I must remind myself that I am a trusted servant of others, not their governor, teacher or instructor, and that applies to me here. God guides my words and my actions, and my responsibility is to heed his suggestions. Trust is my watchword. I trust others who lead. In the fellowship of AA, I entrust God with the ultimate authority of running the show. And as God works through people, what better way is there? Certainly not my way. And hard on ourselves, considerate of others is as Bill sees it. And I think I've only got a chance for the first paragraph. It says here, we cannot disclose anything to our wives or our parents which will hurt them and make them unhappy. We have no right to save our own skins at their expense. Such damaging parts of our story we tell to someone else who will understand, yet be unaffected. The rule is we must be hard on ourselves, but always considerate of others. And I guess in many ways that holds true for everything. That, I will always stumble on this one, because I feel that the whole truth and nothing but the truth really works. But I guess it is who needs to hear it. And sometimes I do ask myself that. I prefer open, honest and willing. It works for me, and I haven't got any secrets. I don't think so. Not today anyway. But there will be some lurking. Anyway, to God and good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to learn the difference is always for me, just for today.